Hello and welcome everybody to today's video. Welcome to the Vee Academy. My name is Crumbrion, Professor Crumbrion, if you would. And today we're going to be taking a look at a wonderful game that we played on Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, and be happy to get your reactions to it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. If you want to follow me and watch games in real time, check me out on twitch.tv/Crumbrion. For now, let's go check out the game. Thanks for watching.
3, 2, 1, go!
Yeah, and they're going first, which is not good for us. Do you use the redeem cards that come in the packs? I do, Dev. Hello, how are you? I use them mostly because, like, some of the sets I have like a shit ton already of those sets, and so whenever I use a code card, it just gives me a bunch of like crafting points. You can DM me the codes, that'd be awesome. Thank you. I would appreciate that. Gouging Fire, interesting. This is going to be an interesting, for sure. Be happy if he does not attach an energy to start the game. That would be cool. And that's not going to happen because they just get Carmine, apparently. How did he get Carmine? Did he just happen to have Carmine? I guess he just happened to have Carmine in this opening hand. That's cool. Sure. Fair and balanced. Well, I'm glad that they got literally everything they needed to start the game. That's pretty cool. Very neat. All right, then. Kind of sucks. I was hoping that we could not, but it is what it is. Looks like we're going to need a second skull in this particular matchup. Okay. Well, we really hope that we can get Dragapult off the top deck. That would be very cool. It doesn't matter anyways because they have our USB star in hand. That's cool. Weird he would, I guess he has to magma base because he doesn't have energy, right? And boss up the Rotom. Okay, whatever. Sure, I guess. Can he hit a Blaze Blitz? I don't think he can this turn. You're not blue. I guess he can. Sure. I guess, dude. You got me. I'm glad I used my V-Star ability. That's unfortunate. We have a chance before he just does that again, so. That doesn't do anything for me. It's unfortunate. So, we're fucked. It's fascinating. Good that we get that now. Does that matter? I guess it does. We have Arvin. At least we get to keep this for a turn, right? I won't do that yet because there's no point. No point in blowing that up at the moment. So he's gonna get another kill with Heat Blast. Means we really are only going to get like one attack off with this, but if we get energy for Dragapult, then we can just kill this anyways, so. That should be okay, yes. Just gonna attack with Arceus next turn. See? Yeah, I think we're cooked here, unfortunately. By the looks of things, we are. That doesn't matter much, but whatever. Sure. See if he actually kills, because that gives me a retreat at least, so. But I don't know. He could just not attack it, but I'm assuming he would. May as well. We're going to put ourselves behind so much here, unfortunately. Kind of cooked. Well, we get the energy we need, so that's good. We have a choice to make here. We can kill this guy. You know, I mean, he's stuck doing that. Or we can kill the Archeops. And I think I really want to kill the Archeop. The Archeop, yeah. The Arceus. He could also just switch and do. Man, this blows. This really kind of blows, fortunately. Tatsu doesn't do anything for me. Oh, whatever. I guess we gotta take out the Gouging Fire. That sucks. So now he can just kill my Pheasantipity, so. I probably... This game is over anyways. Fortunately. Probably should have put down Lost City, but it's not going to matter, so. Hello, Ruby Trans Cutie. How are you? As long as we can take care of that. Potentially. Yeah, we're just kind of fucked. Unfortunate. Nothing we can do about it. Yep, nothing we can do. We're screwed. GG's. Game just gave him everything he needed to start the game, so fuck us, I guess. We need too many things here. We need far too many things here. Now a boss's orders just wins it either way here, so I guess this is... The fact that we're even like close for this to being a thing is like kind of ridiculous. And that's literally our only play. The fact that we could even get there is kind of crazy. It's only something that Dragapult could really do too. Yeah, but he gets boss's orders, it's over anyway, so. Hello, Spin Dart. How is everybody today? And we put ourselves in the best position to win against a person that just got everything that they wanted to do, so. They win anyways, because they just retreat in Magical Fire. Unfortunate. They needed the second Armarouge though, so that's fine. We might be okay. We might be okay. There's a huge Pokemon leak for sub. Apparently it's true. I mean, I haven't looked at it. I don't really care. Do not really care. I don't think they get an attack off with Delphox, which they need to kill this. Their win condition right now is killing us with Delphox. Or boss's orders. Which they played Carmine, so they can't boss. Oh, they're gonna retreat. Yep. Interesting. I mean, that's a bad move too, because we still just win now, so. Well, I'm actually impressed we pulled that off. That's crazy. He should have put up his Pheasantipity if that's what he wanted to do there, but I mean, we had bosses anyway, so it didn't matter. That's crazy. They got literally everything they needed to in that game, and so like that game was won by the combination that we did. I'm gonna show here. I mean, it's not a very good deck. Gouging Fire is whatever, but basically what he needed us to do was just not play the game. They had a god opening though, like that was insane. So we only had Duskull and they started first. So they took away our evolutionary advantage. They had everything going for them in this game actually. That's kind of fucked. So they had Gouging Fire, they had Arceus instantly. They got the energy. They only took one energy, which is weird. But they got the energy, the Ultra Ball energy away for Radiant Greninja. They played Carmine. I guess they weren't planning on keeping their hand. I guess it makes sense. They Carmined. As you know, they just had Carmine in their opening hand, apparently. In their 2 cards they had left, they had Carmine. And Switch, so there you go. And so they got concealed cards, they put another energy in the discard pile. 8, oh my gosh. 16 months of subbing Reese, let's go. Let's go. Then they Ultra Ball for a Charcadet. Yeah, us taking out that Charcadet kind of want us... I'm going to go over what the turning point in the game was, though. Because, like, they literally had a god start. They got the energy down on the Charcadet. Boom, boom, boom. They had everything they needed to. They basically had a 2 energy attached turn, right? Because did they attach energy that turn? Or did they not? It's really weird that they didn't attach energy. They only discarded it, because they could have grabbed 2 fire and they chose not to, and they should have just attached energy, but whatever. Guess they figured they knew exactly what they were going to have the next turn, so it didn't matter. So basically, we don't have a very good hand. We have to Nest Ball for Rotom. We do have Arven, which ends up getting us, because we had the Nest Ball in hand, it ends up getting us a Buddy Poffin and a Seal Stone, which is another Buddy Poffin. And so we end up getting our full bench, which is cool. It's unfortunate that we had to do that because our opponent was just already immediately set up. So we needed to make sure that we had multiple Pokemon down. And then we had Instant Charge, which didn't, again, give us very much here, unfortunately. And then the next turn, they just go insane. They have Arceus V-Star in their hand instantly. They have Magma Basin to attach another Fire Energy to the bench Charcadet. They just have boss's orders, so they boss up my Rotom, and then they Starbirth to get whatever they need, which gives them gets them an Armarouge. They attach a Fire Energy to the Gouging Fire. They just have all of the energy onto their Gouging Fire now to KO my Rotom instantly on their first attacking turn. And so yeah, I am so fucking far behind at that point. That's insane. Yeah, it was a Terra leak, apparently. I don't know what the hell that means. Been working on your Bully Fez to be more bullying, put a bomb in and added Reflective Shield Mewtwo. Nice. Good shit. So yeah, it's already, like, we're completely screwed. We don't even have the prospect of having a Dragapult, because we don't even have, like, the ability to get a Dragapult this turn. So, like, we're still waiting to play the game on our second turn. So we Nest Ball. We do have a Nest Ball in hand, so that does get us a Pheasantipity, which, again, doesn't do very much, unfortunately, because it gives us a rare candy, it gives us Buddy Poffin, and it gives us Earthen Vessel. Woo, good job. So we have to Iono. Because we had rare candy in hand, which the Pheasantipity gave us a chance to get a Dragapult out that particular moment. So I had to flip the script before Iono. Normally what I would do is I would Iono first and then flip the script so I can have maximum cards in my hand. But, like, I needed to make sure that I couldn't get a Dragapult first, because I had 2 rare candies in hand basically at that point. So then we get a favorable hand off of that, which is fine, because we get Dracloak, we get Arven, we get Lumineon, we get Lost City, we get Rare Candy. Like, we get all of the recipe that we need to kind of move the game forward a little bit for ourselves. Dusclops is a very nice draw off of that for us, because Dusclops, if we get a Dragapult in play, and we get to attack with the Dragapult, Dusclops means that we can actually kill the Gouging Fire that's in front of us. Otherwise we don't have a KO and we just have to wait. So unfortunately we didn't get anything off of that, I don't think. Well, we got a Dragapult, which we ended up rare candying, but we didn't have the energy to attack with the Dragapult, so we didn't end up having anything to do that turn. We had to strand a Dusclops or a Duskull in the active. We didn't want to evolve the Dusclops because we weren't sure if we were going to be able to attack that turn, so we didn't bother. We just held on to it, because in case we have to evolve it to a Dusknoir, we want to hold on to that play. We don't necessarily want to play that right away. Or if our opponent goes ahead and, gusts up something because they're threatened by the Dusclops, then, we still at least have a Duskull to do the Dusknoir play later on if we need to. But we got the Dragapult out to preserve the energy. So we evolved the one that had the energy on it. So the Dreepy that had the energy became a Dragapult. So that way we could at least attack with it. Should we get the opportunity to. Now, again, our opponent just goes bonkers on this. I don't know why he discarded an experience share. That kind of turfed him a little bit here too. He really needed that experience. He really needed that energy to be able to attack the following turn, but I guess he was feeling pretty confident. So gets the Magma Basin, puts more damage on the Armarouge, which is good for us. Only good for us. And then he can only use Heat Blast because he Blaze Blitzed, and so he cannot Blaze Blitz again until the Gouging Fire leaves the active. So we have no incentive to remove Gouging Fire from the active slot unless it's a knockout. So like he's limited to do 60 damage. I'm perfectly fine with that if he wants to continue just doing 60 damage. Unfortunately, it's enough to KO our Duskull, but we know that we can potentially attack with the Dragapult on the following turn, which is good, because then we have the Dusclops, so we can just use that combo, or we can gust up his Arceus and go after his Arceus should we decide to do that, but gives us options. We flip the script, gives us the boss's orders, which is good for much, much later. We don't necessarily need it right away. We also get the Ultra Ball, which could be nice too. But we didn't really need to do a whole lot here. We can recon directive, and we grab the Ultra Ball. So now we have 2 Ultra Balls, which is pretty good. We grab the Nest Ball from the Arven. This was like kind of a goof because like partly I was trying to see what else I had, and partly I was thinking like maybe I have like a Duskull tucked away somewhere that I could use. I only have 2 Duskulls in this deck, so I didn't really need to Arven for anything at all here, to be honest, for anything at that particular moment, right? So like, that was kind of a waste. I don't know why I didn't grab a tool there. I mean, I could have grabbed a tool, but I didn't need to. That could have been bad for us too, not grabbing the tool, but it might have been good too. I don't know if this list ends up running like vacuums or something like that. So having a tool on the board might not necessarily be the best thing until I need it. So we end up Curse Blast for 50 damage onto the Gouging Fire, which brings us down to brings our opponent down to 2 prizes, which is a very, very scary situation, because all he needs now is boss's orders to win the game. So he has an Arceus that's hitting for 250 damage. We only have a single Dragapult right now, and we have a couple Pokemon that could get KO'd for 2 prizes on the bench. Well, just one, I think, actually, was the Pheasantipity, which Pheasantipity would not withstand 250. It would get knocked out. So we're basically in a situation that it's very, very bad because we've taken too many KOs on our side of the board, and they have taken nothing on their side of the board. So, well, they have taken nothing up until this point. This is our first 2 prizes. The Gouging Fire, we KO. We take 2 prizes on the Gouging Fire. And then we get rid of his 3 fire energies, his Arceus primed and ready. We get very nice because we get the Alakazam off of the prizes. This is a turning point for us right now. If we don't have Alakazam, we don't win this game. I'm saying that right now. We don't have Alakazam, we don't win. We lose. We knew that too because we played Nest Ball and there was no Alakazam, so like literally getting the Alakazam off of the prizes was a game-winning play right there. The game-saving play. So again, they get more stuff down. We know that he's putting down a second Charcadet. He wants to put out a second Armarouge to get Fire Off going again. So he wants to have 2, for whatever reason, I don't know why he wants to have 2 Fire Offs available. He should just be having energy attached to this every single turn, which he hasn't been doing. He might play the other Armarouge too, but it's looking like he wants to get a second Armarouge down for some reason. Not entirely sure why, but we're well aware of that now. So he plays, oh yeah, that's why. So he plays Experience Share to the Charcadet, this one. So that is something that we're also very well aware of as well. So like He had thrown away an experience share earlier in the game. Had he played the second experience, had he played his first experience share that he had, we probably wouldn't be sitting here talking about a victory right now, because we would have been completely screwed. He needed to put his experience shares down, which I guess he didn't have a Char Cadet down yet, and so he couldn't play it on the Char Cadet yet, and so he didn't want to lock it on something else that was going to just eat up the energy. He wanted to put it on the Char Cadets or some very specific Pokemon. So he swings for 250, and he attaches another Fire Energy to his Arceus. He has no other V Pokemon on the board at that particular moment. So very good for us, because if he had the Delphox down, we'd be cooked. There's a lot of different situations that if he had done things slightly differently, we actually would have lost that game, just because he had literally, like, he had 99.9% of things go correctly for him and go poorly for us up until this point. So those are things that allowed us to kind of have a crack in the door to slide through. So now we start mounting a comeback here. So Dracloak grabs a rare candy, which is very good. We can Ultra Ball here. So we Ultra Ball for our Dragapult, because here's the line of play that we have to do. We don't have any energy on our Drapies. We have 0 energy on the board. The only attack that we could potentially get off is going to be with our damaged 250 damage on it already Dragapult, which if we attack, we lose. If we Gust and attack, we lose. If we don't take 3 prizes, we lose. So if we don't take 4 prizes in that particular turn, we lose. And there is no way for us to take 4 prizes with the current board state. So our only option is to attack with something that is not damaged for 250, and that is a 2 prize attacker, right? So we have to facilitate a Dragapult. We have to be able to get an attack off for 1 energy on said Dragapult, which is a very, very tall order. However, we already knew we had all the pieces in place for it, and it's thank God we did not waste the crystal on our first Dragapult. This is why I don't like playing crystal until much later in the game, because if you can get the energy down to attack, it's much more preferable to save your crystal for later points in the game where you don't necessarily have a board state set up so that you have an easy answer back. So like in this situation where we had no energy on the backfield because of how fast this game had been going, we just simply didn't have enough time to put energy down in enough turns to get a second attacker, a second Dragapult set up. So basically, we get our second Dragapult from the very timely rare candy off of the Recon Directive. We have the Ultra Ball in hand, so we toss those. We grab a Dragapult. We get our Dragapult down. We have to retreat the active Dragapult, right? So now we have no way of getting energy in our hand currently. We have 0 energies. We have 0 energies in hand. We have to find a way to get energies, and we have to find a way to get. We have to find a way to get our crystal. So we have Lumineon, and we already have a bench liability right now. That if we get they get boss's orders, they have a Dragapult that has 250 damage on the bench. So it doesn't matter if we have a 170 HP Pokemon on the bench anymore, because there it is. The game's already going to be lost anyways. Bezandipity is already sitting there with 210 anyways, so there's already multiple bench liabilities. What's one more? Who cares? So we use Lumineon to grab Arven. Arven's going to do everything that we want to do here, because we have all the pieces in hand. We have our Dragapult, we have our rare candy. We've already rare candied into Dragapult, so now we just need an item and a tool, which is exactly what Arven can get us. We get the Night Stretcher because we need the energy that we just discarded, and we need the Sparkling Crystal, which will allow us to attack. We play the Radiant Alakazam to the bench, which to this point we haven't put into play yet, mostly because we don't want to show our opponent that we have it. Number one, because if they find a way to get rid of it, then we'll be sad. Number two, we also don't want to show them the board state, right? So we want them to be confident, put down stuff, and like the Char Cadet and whatever else, and then we put down the Alakazam to lock them in and be like, well, here you go. Now you're screwed. So We put Lost City out to bump the Magma Basin. Also because we want to get rid of his Char Cadet permanently. So the things that we're attacking now, so number one, we remove his ability to Magma Basin. He's probably in a situation right now where he doesn't think that he has to grab another Magma Basin or facilitate another Magma Basin. So he's fairly comfortable in his position right now, because we haven't played a stadium up to this point. So now that we played a stadium, we bump it with Lost City. We get the Sparkling Crystal down, we attach, we Radiant Alakazam 10 damage over to the Char Cadet that has the experience share on it, and then we just do 200 damage to the Arceus, the 60 damage to the Char Cadet, and because of the Alakazam facilitating that 10 damage, Char Cadet goes to the Shadow Realm. Goodbye, Char Cadet, permanently. So that's gone. That is where the game turned for us, right here. This turn number 4 was where it turned around for us here, because all of a sudden our opponent went from almost assuredly winning the game because I really had no answer to swing back, to being put completely on the back foot and being at risk of losing the game, because now his Arceus has 200 damage on it. Now we're firmly in control, because he doesn't have a way to retain energy. And we also didn't knock anything out. So anything that he could possibly have had an experience share on wouldn't have done anything anyways, because we didn't take KO on Pokemon that had energy attached to them. And he loses his Char Cadet with that anyways. So he doesn't have ways of kind of shell gaming the energy anymore, because his Magma Basin's gone and he's kind of cooked in terms of what his game plan is here. And so now it goes back to him. He is down to, he still has 2 prizes to take. We still have 3 at this point, right? So we have 3 prizes because we just took one, and the other one was the Gouging Fire, and then we took 2 off of that. So we're at 3 prizes. They're at 2 prizes. They're staring down the possibility of losing a game that they've been in control of since turn 0. So they are definitely digging for something here. They were trying, I'm guessing, trying to get a boss's orders, trying to facilitate something so that they can just boss it in the game. Doesn't look like they could get there. So they opted to try and go for Delphox because Magical Fire could get them the victory without having to Gust. Magical Fire for 3 energies could attack my Dragapult on the bench and get the 2 prize KO, which would be, actually it wouldn't. Theoretically it would, but it wouldn't, because Magical Fire is an attack and Dragapult's a Terra type, so it would actually block that. But our opponent, in a panic, because he can't find boss, is trying to find any sort of way to get things going. I also don't think that they have a way to enhance that damage. So, I mean, I'm not sure what they were trying to do with this. Trying to load up Magical Fire because they couldn't attack the Dragapult because the Dragapult's a Terra type. Terras are protected on the bench from attacks anyway, so I think that's likely what they were trying to go for, was the Magical Fire onto my Dragapult, but they couldn't get there anyways. That doesn't matter. I know that again, this is panic mode for my opponent, because they just went from assuredly winning the game to having a very, very tough time to actually win this game now. So they end up using Carmine. I'm guessing that so the 4 cards that they had were not anything good, because they had Glass Trumpet, which I don't know how that's going to help them. They had Squawkabilly, and they had Armarouge. They don't have a Terra Pokemon anywhere to be seen, so I don't know why Glass Trumpet is in the deck. And I don't know why that would be good for them anyways, but, you know, go off. They get 5 cards. They can't bosses now because they've Carmined. So we're basically sitting pretty in this, because in our hand, so number 1, they didn't hand disrupt us. Number 2, they didn't gust us. So in our hand, we have boss's orders, which guarantees us a victory on the following turn, no matter what they do now, because they can't counter catcher us. They have the prize advantage, so they can't counter catcher us, and they can't hand disrupt us because we didn't knock anything. Well, I guess we knocked something out, but I don't think this runs Unfair Stamp. No, it doesn't run Unfair Stamp because they have Maximum Belt. So the 2 things they could have done to hand disrupt us, they can't do, because they don't have the option to. So basically now we're just waiting for them to finish off their turn, which if they're in a situation now, if they attack, they lose. So if they attack with Trinity Nova, it's only doing 250 to my non-damaged Dragapult. So that assuredly means that the game is over for them, because then we just attack, damage the bench, and then Bob's your uncle. The only path to victory, well, not path to victory, but the only path of survivability that they had was if they retreated into Pheasantipity or Delphox, because that way I wouldn't have a guaranteed way of hitting for 210, which is what I needed to hit for, I think, both of them. So they would at least survive for a turn to try and get an attack off in retaliation. But they opted to put up Greninja, which was kind of a weird play, which again, it just strikes me as them panicking because they think, I'm just going to throw up a one prize attacker. What can they do? Well, what can I do is I have Alakazam on the bench, which allows me to move 20 damage from any damaged Pokemon to another Pokemon that I want to. And I take the 20 damage that we've been building up on Armarouge, which they've also been contributing with Magma Basin. I put that over to the already damaged Arceus V-Star, and all of a sudden, the 200 damage on Arceus V-Star turns into 200 and... Well, the 200 damage that was on Arceus V-Star, plus the 10 damage that I had from the damage counters placing before, turns into 210 damage on Arceus V-Star. Or it was 210, it turns into 230 damage on Arceus V-Star, which then at that point means I just have to KO what's in front of me, which is the Greninja, for 200 damage, goodnight Greninja, and then drop 6 damage counters onto the Arceus V-Star, and then that is curtains because it is sitting at 290 damage. GG, 3 prizes, goodnight. How that goes. That is how you turn a almost assured loss into a victory, and I don't think that there's another deck outside of Dragapult that can do it, to be honest. I think Dragapult is one of the only decks that can possibly do that, and really it's that came down to my opponent not having boss's orders at a critical time. Like, boss's orders could have won him the game, but to be fair, he also had 2 uncontested god turns that he didn't really do a whole lot with. So he wasted a boss's orders to start the game, which could, if he just held on to it, could have possibly won him the game at the end of the game. But he decided to boss up my Rotom to start the game, which might have been his one and only boss. It might have been, one of his bosses was prized, but for whatever reason, he decided to go for the greed play and go for my Rotom to start the game. And ultimately, that was the one card he needed at the end of it that he couldn't find. So, there you go. Very interesting. I thought we were completely going to be screwed in that one based on our opponent's opening. But Dragapult pulls it off in a unique way that only Dragapult can.